return to our movie in just a moment. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, kids, have you tried Crispies yet?
Those are familiar words, aren't they? When we watch television, we're used to the frequent interruptions for commercials. Sometimes these commercials are annoying, especially when they interrupt our favorite programs.
Children, come and get your snack.
But television commercials are an important form of advertising. And it's those commercials that pay for the shows we like to watch. What is advertising? Advertising is any paid announcement or message used to help sell goods, services, or ideas.
You know, watching that makes me hungry.
Advertising is very helpful and important to all of us because it gives us information we need to know about products and services. But advertising not only tells us about them, it also persuades us to buy and use them. How does advertising persuade us to buy things? How can we use advertising to become wise consumers or buyers? These are questions we want to answer in this film. First, let's notice the different ways advertising comes to us. Advertising comes to us in newspapers and magazines, over the radio.
So eat crisp, flavorful, Crispies potato chips.
Some advertising is in the form of signs and billboards along streets and highways. Sometimes advertising comes right to our front door. And as we all know, television advertising comes to us right in our own homes.
So get Crispies, the potato chips made especially for kids.
These different ways of advertising are called advertising media. Which of these media, or ways of advertising, do you think is able to reach the most people at one time? Which do you think is the most expensive for the advertiser to use? Now, let's see how advertising persuades us to buy things. Advertisers know that we sometimes buy things to make our friends and neighbors jealous.
Hi, you interested in the bike?
Yes, I saw your ad and I'd like to try it out.
All right.
Some things we buy because we think they will help us win the love or friendship of other people.
Wow, look at his new bike.
This is a wish based upon emotion.
Hi. Man, when did you get this new bike?
I just got it.
Advertising that persuades us to buy things to satisfy our emotions or feelings is called emotional advertising. Let's look at a television commercial as an example. Notice that the commercial is aimed at our desire to have friends and be liked by others.
Hi.
When you have a package of Chewies, it's easy to make friends. Just give them some Chewies and watch them smile. Fruit-flavored Chewies are fun to chew and they taste so good too. Everyone loves Chewies. Boys, girls,
Chewies?
even grown-ups.
Do your children have Chewies? Yes, would you like some? Oh, thank you.
You know, when you eat Chewies, you'll probably make all kinds of friends.
Thank you, oh, Chewies.
So get fruit-flavored Chewies wherever candy is sold.
Let's take another look at that commercial to see how it appeals to our emotions. Do you think giving people Chewies is a good way to make friends? Will people really like you more if you give them some Chewies? Did the commercial tell you enough about the product? Do you think a commercial like this would make people want to buy Chewies? If so, why? Emotional advertising can be used in newspapers or magazine advertisements as well. Here's how a newspaper ad for Chewies might look. Notice that the idea is the same, that people will like you and be your friend if you give them some Chewies. Another kind of advertising is aimed at our logic or reasoning instead of our emotions. It's called logical advertising, and it tells us facts about the product, such as how much it costs, what it's made of, or any special features of interest to buyers. Now see if you can find any logical reasons for buying the product in the following TV commercial.
Hey, kids, do you like the taste of a chocolate milkshake? Then get Quick Mix, the milk flavor that makes ordinary milk taste like a thick chocolate milkshake. Quick Mix is easy to make. Just add Quick Mix to a glass of milk, stir, and there's your delicious chocolate milkshake. You'll love it. And tell Mom that for just 3 cents a glass, Quick Mix in milk supplies all the vitamins and minerals kids need for good health. So, get Quick Mix.
Now let's see what we learned. What were some of the logical reasons given to make us want to buy the product? Did this commercial give you information you need to know about the product itself? What do you think your parents would like most about Quick Mix? Now let's take a look at another form of advertising we've all seen. It's called the product endorsement because famous people endorse or recommend the product. These celebrities may be baseball players, race car drivers, or glamorous movie stars.
Hi. If you want to be a sparkler like me, you too should use Sparkle toothpaste.
Advertisers use these celebrities because we usually believe the advice of famous and successful people. We recognize them and look up to them as experts on the products they advertise, even though they seldom are. Now a television commercial using the endorsement method.
Hi, I'm Joe Trickney. You know, it takes a lot of energy to play professional football, and a hearty breakfast of Flakies helps provide that energy. Flakies are made from power-packed kernels of whole grain wheat, one of nature's most nutritious foods. Eat a bowl of good-tasting, supercharged Flakies for breakfast.
Thanks, Mom. Great dress.
And you'll be off and running for the whole day. Remember, to play like a pro, you need the energy of a pro. So take my advice. Eat Flakies, the cereal of the pros. Got it?
Let's take a closer look at this endorsement. Why did the advertiser have a football player advertise Flakies instead of a teacher or an office worker? Do you think you could become a professional football player if you ate this cereal? Do you think the football player made this commercial because he likes Flakies?
So take my advice. Eat Flakies, the cereal of the pros. Got it?
Did playing football make this man an expert on breakfast cereals? If not, why should we take his advice and eat Flakies? Since the purpose of advertising is to help sell goods and services, advertisers try to describe their products in the best possible manner. Unfortunately, this sometimes results in advertising that is not as truthful as it should be. This is another reason why it's important that we learn to understand advertising. For example, see if you can find anything wrong with the statements and claims made in this commercial.
Do you like chocolate and peanuts? Then try a delicious Crunch Bar. Crunch Bars have 25% more peanuts for more peanut flavor and crunch. Everybody loves a Crunch Bar. You won't find a better tasting candy bar anywhere. So, if you like chocolate and peanuts, try a Crunch Bar.
At first, this commercial sounds as if it's logical advertising based on fact. But now let's listen to those statements more carefully.
Crunch Bars have 25% more peanuts.
That sounds good, but 25% more peanuts than what? Does this claim mean anything?
Everybody loves a Crunch Bar.
How does he know? Isn't it possible that someone somewhere doesn't like Crunch Bars?
You won't find a better tasting candy bar anywhere.
How does he know? Has he checked everywhere? Could he prove that statement?
So,
do you think this
like
commercial was
chocolate and
completely
peanuts,
truthful?
Try a Crunch Bar.
This example shows why it's important that we learn to analyze advertising and understand how it tries to persuade us. So next time our favorite program is interrupted by a commercial, instead of just watching, let's try to understand how the commercial tries to persuade us to buy the product. Let's ask ourselves, is the commercial aimed at my emotions, like the Chewy's commercial we saw, or was it aimed at my logical reasoning, like the Quick Mix example? When we see a famous person in an ad or commercial, we should ask ourselves, is the celebrity really an expert on the product he's endorsing? And above all, let's pay close attention to what is said about the product so we can make good buying decisions based on facts. Advertising can be a valuable tool when we use it wisely to become intelligent, informed consumers.